national sales event. The final days to save with #1 deals so everyone can drive away with legendary Toyota value. Final days to get a #1 Prius C lease for a lowest ever $97 a month with no cost maintenance included. Or current Toyota owners can get 0 for 60 plus $12.50 bonus cash on a Prius liftback. #1 for everyone ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places. WBZ, proud to be your official home for the Boston Marathon. WBZ AccuWeather presents Eye on Weather Spring Preview. Brought to you by Raytheon.
Spring, last seen in 2013, coming back soon? Oh, certainly hope so. Welcome to the WBZ Eye on Weather Special Spring Preview. I'm meteorologist Derek Fisher. Mother Nature doesn't always follow the calendar. We know that. And this year has been no exception, which begs the question, are we finally going to warm up sometime soon? We're going to answer that and many other questions about the season of growth and renewal over the next half hour. And throughout tonight's show, you can interact with us. Just go to cbsboston.com or follow us on Twitter and use the hashtag spring. The whole team is here. And yes, even we, who love our snowstorms, we're looking at Barry, are ready to move on.
Eric and I will talk about the spring forecast and how the season has been changing in recent years.
Plus, Gardening with Guttner returns. See what lingering impact the brutal winter will have at your local produce stand.
And with warmer temperatures, of course, comes more severe weather. I'll take you along the 2011 tornado scar and show you what some towns are doing to better prepare for storms ahead.
And we say goodbye to cold weather with some spring comfort food. A visit with local chefs and brewmasters find the best ways to taste this new season. But we can't move forward without looking back. And the winter of 2013-2014 shattered records across the nation. Here now is a look at the coldest 6-month stretch that this country has seen since 1912. While we only had to endure the 53rd coldest winter on record in Massachusetts, the Midwest received constant blows from the Arctic. The persistent southward dips of the polar vortex helped to fuel top 10 coldest winters on record for several Midwest states. The Great Lakes were no match for the frigid air, succumbing to ice which is standing strong even now. In early March, the coverage reached 92.2%, the second highest ever recorded and most for so late in the season. Humans felt the impact in a different way, their wallets. The U.S. Energy Information Administration reports household heating cost increases of 54% for propane, 10% for natural gas, 7% for oil, and 5% for electricity compared to last winter. Chicago was buried by its third snowiest season recorded in 130 years, while Philadelphia and Detroit were pounded by their second snowiest. Instead of preparing for cherry blossoms, D.C. was hit by over a half-foot of snow on St. Patrick's Day. And here at home, winter tested our patience at times. March will take the cake for the biggest departure from average. It was the 5th straight month of below-average temperatures for the first time in 11 years. There were 42 days where Boston didn't even climb above the freezing mark, producing a Charles River so icy the duck boats delayed the start of their tours for the first time ever. And a run of snowstorms, the largest arriving the day after New Year's, helped the entire region see well above average snow. But it hasn't all been about the cold. In stark contrast, California saw its hottest winter ever recorded. It's mired in a historic drought that shows very few signs of ending. We all feel their pain. Massive quantities of the nation's produce all hail from the Golden State. Expect higher prices at the grocery checkout counter. Well, long story short, it's been rough. And so, Barry, a lot of people asking us, and not surprisingly, are we going to jump right from winter to summer, or is it going to be more of a gradual process?
Well, it seems like for the last few years, spring has been coming earlier and earlier, but this year, it looks like a very different story. From the April Fool's blizzard of 1997 to the record floods of May 2006 to the sizzling heat of the 2012 Boston Marathon, we are vulnerable to a veritable potpourri of weather in the spring. I believe we'll start out at least below normal for temperature and normal for precipitation. It may trend drier as we move toward the summer from what we're looking at. Joe is the master of seasonal forecasts, and his research of analog years for the present pattern shows strong support for a cold April and a warmer May. A recent study done right here at Walden Pond shows one of the many consequences of a cold April.
But all the months starting from January onward are important, but they're less important in January and February. They start to get more important in March, and then particularly April and even early May are the most critical times in terms of determining when trees and shrubs start leafing out.
there is a silver lining to a brutally cold winter and chilly start to spring.
These really cold temperatures this year are really going to cause high mortality of a lot of the insect pests which are troubling our New England trees. So in particular, the woolly adelgid, which is attacking hemlock trees, and the emerald ash beetle, which is attacking the ash trees.
And milder winters can actually have a negative impact. A lack of snow can cause deeper soil freeze, damming tree roots, limiting their ability to absorb nutrients and nitrogen. This nitrogen then runs into streams, deteriorating water quality.
So in many ways, this winter was ideal because there was a sufficient snowpack to insulate roots and all the other organisms living in the soil. And going forward into this spring, it would be great to see a gradual warm up so the leaves out, plants flower, but they don't do it so early that they're susceptible to a potential late frost that could damage them.
Well, so as always, two sides to every coin, but Barry doesn't sound like we're going to run off to the beach too quickly this year.
Everybody would like a quick change, go right into instant summer just like that, but it isn't really going to change. It looks like more cold air coming out of Canada, the same weather pattern we've been having all winter, more chillier masses coming down. Additionally, the ocean is so cold this year, cold air is still up here in eastern Canada. We have the threat of these cold backdoor fronts.
Yeah, Sox games in the 30s and 40s, we've all been there, and it looks like it may be likely this year.
And 70 degrees out in Springfield at the same time. But eventually we are going to get there, and warmer weather is going to come our way. So a cold April is anticipated, but a warmer May in terms of getting closer to average here from May into June.
Now, and it's great that we're not just jumping right into it because there's a lot of snow, especially in northern New England.
And because it's not really going to warm up that much so quickly, and without any big rainstorms, it looks like we'll have an orderly snowmelt, so the threat of any severe flooding seems to be quite minimal.
Of course, we'll be watching that very carefully for you. Barry, thank you so much. Up next, we love the flowers and milder temperatures, but the change of the season brings rumbles of thunder, and in some years, tornadoes. And Danielle Niles will talk to people along the 39-mile path from Westfield to Charlton, devastated by a tornado less than 3 years ago. Plus, will the recent frigid weather ruin your garden? Well, Todd digs for answers when the WBZ Eye on Weather Special returns.
This is math. This is math. Math, math, and more math. Math and science are a fun, exciting part of our everyday life, and getting kids interested is key to investing in the future of America. Join Raytheon as we inspire tomorrow's innovators with math and science today. Go to mathmovesyou.com and get the resources you need in the classroom and at home to show kids how fun math can be. Math moves you. From Raytheon, it all adds up to success.
The 2014 Nissan Altima, 38 miles per gallon. Blind spot warning, active understeer control, and rear view monitor with moving object detection. Get into Nissan now.
Choose the 38 MPG Altima, just $189 per month, or get a $159 per month lease on Sentra.
Gonna need this now.
I know the feeling. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Shop ChooseNissan.com.
In 1935, when the Blake brothers named their ice cream shop Friendly, they vowed to make it exactly that. Today, we're friendlier than ever. I'm John McGuire, CEO of Friendly's. Like you, I grew up with Friendly's. And I'm happy to say we're back with a new menu and our great memories guaranteed. If you're unhappy with your experience, the meal's on us. So come back to Friendly's, where great family memories are my guarantee.
Tell me about the Honda Civic. It's the most durable, longest-lasting car in its class.
Can I stay in touch?
Bluetooth and text message reader come standard.
Does it rock?
Pandora compatibility, standard.
Where am I?
The Honda sales event of your dreams.
Nailed it, go, man.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now, at your Honda dealer.
Buying eyeglasses is personal. Do they make me look too old? Should I get the red ones? Most glasses will improve your vision, but the right glasses are an extension of your personality. Cambridge Eye Doctors is now VisionWorks. Get 2 complete pairs for $99 or 2 pairs of no-line bifocals for $179. VisionWorks, where you'll find more than a pair of glasses, you'll find a better you.
The Sonatas are here at unprecedented prices. Save with 0% APR for 72 months or up to $5,000 total savings. Plus, you'll enjoy the assurance of America's best warranty. That's 10 years, 100,000 miles. Don't miss this limited time, limited supply offer. With $5,000 savings, they're sure to go quick. Come in now for 0% APR for 72 months or up to $5,000 total savings. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today.
You know, I think a major rite of passage every spring, it has to be the Boston Marathon. It's the first time everyone's getting outside. I'm running it to be my first Boston Marathon. Very excited. And we know that this year is going to be extremely powerful. We hope that it ends up being a great story and a day of healing across the region. Daylight increases, temperatures rise, but clashes between retreating winter and approaching summer make spring the ideal breeding ground for thunderstorms. Danielle Niles joins us now, and Danielle, we learned this the hard way just a few years back.
We sure did. I mean, tornadoes may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think of New England weather, but they can happen here. And while most of them are relatively weak, occasionally they can be very destructive. The deadliest and most infamous tornado in Massachusetts history, the Worcester tornado in 1953. This twister cut a devastating 40-mile path through Worcester County on June 9th, taking 94 lives in 84 minutes. More recently, in 2008, a New England record 50-mile-long track, this time in east central New Hampshire, caused damage in 11 communities on July 24th, claiming 1 life along the way. And just 3 years ago on June 1st, this. Greater Springfield tornado, the strongest of 4 tornadoes that touched down that day in Massachusetts. With estimated wind speeds of 160 miles per hour, the twister left a 39-mile-long path of destruction, at times a half a mile wide, its scars still visible on our landscape today. We average 2 to 3 tornadoes every year in Massachusetts, and sometimes they turn deadly. That's what happened here in the Merrick neighborhood of West Springfield. One of the first responders on the scene was Deputy Fire Chief Stephen Mancino, and he says it's the biggest event he's ever seen in his career.
Gas being strewn from buildings that were torn apart. Limbs on top of cars, limbs on top of houses, of trees, and trees themselves. These large-scale trees that are pretty much no longer visible in this area. You figure with the amount of people, population density down here, that more lives weren't lost. It's surprising, to say the least.
Farther east in Munson, memories of that day are still fresh in the minds of residents.
I only saw out the kitchen window a very small part, and I jumped back into the bathtub. It was so scary, and it missed my apartment by 20 feet. It went right through the parking lot where I lived. You didn't hear a bird chirping or calling for a week.
Right on Main Street, the town's offices and police facility will be completed this fall.
Having this rebuilt really infills and, I think emotionally kind of helps the town move on as far as the rebuilding process and recovering itself emotionally.
Town Administrator Evan Brassard says the town's preparedness for severe weather events has increased.
Before the tornado struck, we didn't have a community notification system, and so since then that was a really big priority.
So Eric, obviously preparation is key to staying safe during severe weather. And on the national level, the Storm Prediction Center is actually adding 2 new categories this year to their severe weather outlooks. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Absolutely.
And that will help to give better guidance for the threat for thunderstorm season.
Just trying to let people know what's going to happen in the simplest way possible.
Exactly.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much. Now, coming up next, gardening with Guttner. Will the rough winter spell doom for all things that bloom? And we taste the season with Jim Solomon, chef at the Fireplace in Brookline, for some of the key ingredients to look out for this spring. The WBZ Ion Weather Special returns right after this break.
Yeah, it's time to move on to a new season. I love winter, I love skiing, I love snowshoeing, but I also love spring. Time to get out the bike, get the rollerblades on. It's time to really embrace every single season and stay active. I'll see you on the trails.
Ours Perfect Pricing is the quick, easy, and honest way to buy your next vehicle. Get the best price right up front, no negotiations required. And now, HAR is making it faster and easier to purchase your next vehicle with our online buying option. Just click the I'll Take It button at HAR.com and follow a few quick steps. It's that easy. We'll deliver it right to your door. Quick, honest, and easy, the way car buying should be. Har Toyota, Gold Star Boulevard, Worcester. Online at har.com.
Hey, yeah, over here. So, you hungry? Yeah, because I can hook you up. Download the McD app to your phone and boom! Choice deals at McDonald's every day. Like a free Bacon Clubhouse burger with purchase just for downloading it.
The Lexus Command Performance Sales Event has begun. It's time to chart an entirely new course with the Lexus CT Hybrid featuring an EPA estimated 42 mpg combined. Take command of the moment, then take command of the road during the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Get great offers on your favorite Lexus models now through March 31st. Lease the 2014 CT 200H for $299 a month for 27 months, and we'll make your first month's payment. See your Lexus dealer.
Doesn't it seem like today we just have more stuff? More clothes, more electronics? You may not realize it, but today's bedroom sets have changed too to keep up with you. Today you'll find bedroom sets with lots of underbed storage, crate for all of that stuff. There are even night tables built to charge your phone and tablet. And if you get up in the middle of the night, there are hidden night lights. Today's bedroom sets aren't just about sleeping. They're about making your life just a little bit easier and giving you the space you need so you can sleep better.
I'm taking off, but don't worry, I'm gonna leave the TV on for you. And if anything happens, don't forget about the new Xfinity My Account app. You can troubleshoot technical issues here. If you make an appointment, you can check out the status here. You can pay the bill too, but don't worry about that right now. Okay, how do I look? Thanks.
Troubleshoot, manage appointments, and bill pay from your phone. Introducing the Xfinity My Account app.
So what do you think? You gonna take it? Look, it's over, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? Dude, you gotta get in on this. 140 characters, I don't get it.
Do you get it now?
So,
huh?
Yeah, I'll take it.
Don't let it pass you by. The BMW 3 Series, the ultimate driving machine. Right now, lease a BMW 320i xDrive sedan for as low as $329 a month.
It's the final days of the Toyota #1 for Everyone National Sales Event, where you can get #1 savings. Get a lowest ever $199 a month lease on an Avalon with no cost maintenance included. Hurry, it ends March 31st. Toyota, let's go places.
Nothing says spring more to me than the Red Sox home opener. The sights, the sounds, the smells of Fenway Park, and the swan boats returning to the Boston Public Garden, getting out and enjoying a day with family and friends as the vibrancy of the city comes back to life.
Well, blooms hanging from trees and poking out of the ground, that smell the first mild spring rain, love it. And this season awakens our senses, typically sends us into the garden, get our hands a little bit dirty, but our gardening guru, Todd Guttner, says the winter we just endured may have something to say about that. Well, Eric, undoubtedly, some of these blooms are going to be delayed because of the lingering cold, the lingering snow, but surprisingly, this past harsh winter may not have been as damaging as we thought. For much of the winter, New England was encased in a glacier of snow, sometimes over 2 feet thick. And while many cringed at the never-ending white landscape for Parley Farms in Tingsboro, it was exactly what they wanted to see.
Farmer's gold. So that when you have snow, and for us, especially because we have strawberries, it protects the strawberries for the winter, and it's like a warm blanket that keeps them from getting real cold. It didn't seem to get cold enough to damage either our blueberries or our apples, so they came through all right. We're a little concerned on the peaches and the cherries, so overall, I'd say the snow was good.
One fear over the winter for many homeowners is property damage, especially to trees and shrubs. But this year, the damage was surprisingly low.
We had a lot of snow this winter, but I think it really has to do with what happened in years past, the past 2 years, 3 years. You know, we had Sandy, we had the nor'easter of Halloween, we had Irene, and I think it really took care of a lot of the poor performing trees, some of the trees and limbs and branches that were in weakened state.
While chainsaws and bucket trucks may not be needed this spring, Lynch Landscape and Tree Service in Wayland will still be very busy.
So you probably noticed November, December, a lot of the brown moths flying around, maybe on the headlights as you're driving your car, on the door, maybe around the house, the lights around your house. And those, in the winter, are harmless. But give it about another month or so, and you're going to start seeing these little green 1-inch caterpillars. Those caterpillars are going to start defoliating trees.
And there's only one way to get rid of them.
You can have up to 100,000 caterpillars in a tree. So we have teams and crews of arborists that will go out and actually spray and protect these trees.
After the harsh winter that we just had, many are itching to get back in the garden. And now that the snow is melting away, it's time to start planting.
April is the month you get out in your garden, you get started, and the first thing you want to do is spend some time in cleaning up your garden, moving all that winter debris, feeding. You know, about the second week is when you can finally start adding your pansies and other spring blooming plants. And don't forget, Todd, I know you love vegetables. You can definitely start your cold crop veggies like lettuce, parsley, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all that stuff that can take the cold.
And what about summertime faves, like tomatoes and cukes?
Mother's Day, plant away. That's a motto that we live here by. So I think in the middle of May, you can plant your tomatoes, your other tender vegetables. All your annuals should be ready to go in the ground by then. And of course, perennials, roses should be safe to go.
Obviously, Eric, when it comes to gardening right here in New England, it's critical that we pay attention to those morning low temperatures. The freezing mark usually sticking out on the 7-day. Critical number there, 32 degrees. And while every season is different, typically in Boston, the final frost occurs the second week of April, and about a month later, second week of May for the suburbs. All right, and the way things are going this year, maybe a little bit later, we'll see how that plays. Sooner or later, these green thumbs will come in handy. I'm ready for some green. Yeah, Tom, thank you so much. Coming up after a quick break, Chef Jim Solomon of The Fireplace and brewer Jay Sullivan from Cambridge Brewing Company. They're going to show us how to let our taste buds soak in spring.
This is math. This is math. Math, math, and more math. Math and science are a fun, exciting part of our everyday life, and getting kids interested is key to investing in the future of America. Join Raytheon as we inspire tomorrow's innovators with math and science today. Go to mathmovesyou.com and get the resources you need in the classroom and at home to show kids how fun math can be. Math moves you from Raytheon. It all adds up to success.
With Encore, everyone's in tune for dinner.
For tasting more, it's Encore.
I like this Honda CR-V. We've got great deals during the Spring Into a Honda sales event.
Slow down, hotshot.
The CR-V has a rear-view camera, Bluetooth, Pandora compatibility, all standard.
Is that it?
And the CR-V is the most durable in its class.
Are those McPherson struts?
Indeed.
Nice work, Smith.
This is not a drill. Get a great deal during the Spring Into a Honda sales event. Now at your Honda dealer.
It's award season, and some talented casts are getting honored for their performances off stage.
Way off stage. Out here, there's plenty of thrills, action, and the occasional cliffhanger. And the stars are much brighter than the ones on the red carpet. But the best part, I get to be the paparazzi.
Hurry in for great deals on the award-winning Jeep brand lineup. Get a low-mileage lease on the all-new 2014 Jeep Cherokee Sport for $209 a month for well-qualified lessees.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah.
Get into Nissan now. 5 new Nissans. More excitement than ever. Choose the 2013 Nissan Sentra, just $159 per month. Or get a $259 per month lease on Pathfinder.
Nissan, innovation that excites.
Shop ChooseNissan.com.
Ours Perfect Pricing is the quick, easy, and honest way to buy your next vehicle. Get the best price right up front, no negotiations required. And now, Horror's making it faster and easier to purchase your next vehicle with our online buying option. Just click the I'll Take It button at har.com and follow a few quick steps. It's that easy. We'll deliver it right to your door. Quick, honest, and easy, the way car buying should be. Har Toyota, Gold Star Boulevard, Worcester. Online at har.com.
Well, after a long, cold, dark winter, my favorite part of spring is just that we start seeing some color. The grass greens up, and then all the blooms come out. You've got the daffodils, the crocuses, the tulips, and then my personal favorites, the forsythia, the magnolias, and the lilac. I just can't wait for it all. Well, I don't know about you, but for me, in the winter, it's got to be in the crock pot. In fall, it's the perfect pie, and in summer, it's all about the barbecue. But what's the best way to get full on spring? Well, we visited the kitchen and brewery of two experts to find out.
Today I have some fresh spring ingredients. I thought that it would make a nice simple dish to really highlight the bounty of spring. I'm really driven by what's fresh, what's in season. Fiddlehead ferns, there's like nothing cooler. How can you not even say fiddlehead fern without smiling? We've got some fresh bay scallops. They come in beautiful small shells and we clean them out of the shell. So you have to start with a hot pan, a little bit of oil, a little butter. You gotta have butter because butter's love. Now it's okay to go with the scallops. Now I'm gonna go with some vegetables. I go with the peas last because I really want them to hold their texture. This is ready. So now you got a little fresh local bay scallop, sauteed baby carrots, fiddlehead ferns, English peas, and just a white wine lemon butter sauce. So you really taste the scallops and a little bit of spring. So these ingredients that I cook with today are really fun for me because I'm a little bit more knowledgeable about what in the market is really of the season. In this early spring, we roasted some local Long Island duck. We made a sauce of rhubarb, port wine, and some spring onions. We made ricotta dumpling, but we used stinging nettles, which are really fun to cook with. It's a really good spring dish. For dessert, we've made these mini lemon mint eclairs. I think lemon just makes you really think of bright, colorful, light spring flavors. Creamy and flaky and buttery, delicious.
This is what spring tastes like. I'm in no particular rush for summer, but once you've got the meal, you have to wash it down.
Seasonal brewing has been with us for thousands of years. When I think of spring beers, I think really flavorful, but very light body, and wheat is one of those ingredients that really will lighten up the body of a beer and not come off as heavy at all. For us, our spring training is a light-bodied IPA with some very floral hop varieties. Tannum and Palisades basically give us very bright, very flowery kind of character, a little less bitterness than you might associate with a traditional IPA. Heather Ale is a beer that we've been making for a number of years. It's infused with local heather flowers from Westport in Massachusetts that we spend an afternoon cutting a bunch of heather flowers. We add those directly to the kettle the next day. A few weeks later, that beer is on tap for the consumer.
All right, with a full stomach and a season typically full of some surprises, lots to look forward to here over the next several months right in New England.
And as the conditions change, you're our eyes and ears, so always feel free to send us photos and reports on Twitter and Facebook.
Until school finally gets out after all the snow days, we'll be there helping to get kids excited about the weather.
And keep an eye out for the mobile AccuWeather Lab as we go to where the weather is, tracking storms and soaking in the sights from around the area. Thanks so much for watching and joining us tonight with our Eye on Weather special. Thanks, Spring, and we'll see you soon.
The sun is